I need a push. I want some juice. I see someone won't flip from one into two. Won't you give it to me? Come with it, come with it, come with it, come with it. What you gon' do, boy? What you gon' do? Let's do something with it, something with it, something with it, something with it. Can you come through, boy? Can you come? You better check your source if you think you know a thing about me. Been working on my patience, it ain't coming naturally. It'll irritate my soul if you try to do me. Know the rules to the game, so don't try to play me. I already been through the fire. I need a real ass nigga take me higher. So what you trying to do? Let me know. If you ain't with it, there'll be another one coming, baby. Speed on fire. So come get it, come get it, come get it, yeah. Get with it, get with it.
Yo, and for those of you that are just tuning in, already know that this is Prophet Radio with WEMS Radio, and I am your host, Prophet Pete, and I am here tonight to bring you a special edition with the ladies that have soulful voices that are going to do some wonderful things in this music industry because they provide their God-given talent to the world. And introducing, letting her come in, someone that is not a stranger to what's going on today. How you doing, Pheonixx? How you doing this evening, Miss Lady? I can't. We almost there. We almost there. It's about to pull your audio.
Yeah, there we go.
There you go. How you doing, Miss Pheonixx? It's been a minute.
How are you? Yes, it's been a while. How have you been during this current events? I'll put it like that.
It's like all you could do is like kind of shake your head about it and just like, yeah, it has been crazy.
It has, but we still here, so thank God.
We're here, thank God, and thank the people that support us, that are around us to keep us up, because it is a little crazy. It's hard to watching the news and everything that's going on. It's a little hard to stay positive.
Yeah, it is, and I think what we're learning from this is like all we have is each other. So we got to make the most out of it, even if it's difficult or it's challenging. We still, at the end of the day, that's all we got. So, you know.
Yeah. And I think during this time, we realized who was really for us and who wasn't.
Right.
Because when you're up, everybody's around you and doing whatever. But when stuff gets a little rough, they start to bail on you and don't even know how to be supportive. So this time did show a lot for many, many people. Exposed a lot of people, I would say.
And you know what's even funnier? Like, as you were talking, I was thinking about the word essential. And it's like, we've been hearing that word a lot, but that word is applicable to people too. And I think when you were saying like finding out who's for you and who's not, is really about even essential people. Like, who's essential? Like, if I'm in an emergency, who can I call if I'm in the hospital? Who can I call if I'm sick? Who can I call if I need them to run an errand? Who can I call if I need somebody to talk to? Who can I stop by their house, or we go to the park or something together, and I could talk to them and I feel a little bit better and I could get through the day. So we not only found out we appreciate things like getting a haircut or getting our hair done, but we also appreciate people who come through in a clutch. So like the word essential, I think it goes across the line. It's not just about things, it's about people too.
Yeah, definitely. And it's just crazy how in just a split second, it just seemed like it was instant. It went from one day of our normal, whatever we considered our normal to be, to it just changing on a Monday. It was like, it was, Monday, guess what? And it's like, what you mean, guess what? And it was all shut down. And New York is still, I think that they're hiding a lot. I think there's a lot of stuff they're not putting out there anymore. But the rest of the country is getting that spike that they've been talking about this whole time. And I don't know, I got to go outside every day because I'm considered that essential employee. And or personnel, whatever, however you want to put it. And there's a lot of people outside that are being reckless, no mask, and just being out there, and it's crazy. But on a positive note,
Right.
On a positive note,
Right.
you
gotta do the yin and the yang.
Yeah, the yin and the yang. Yeah, right. We talked about it a little bit. Okay, it's out of here.
Right.
That's it. Hell with COVID and all that other nonsense. But we got your music.
Yes.
Your music. Like
the music.
What's up with that?
I literally have it was a journey for me to find my artistry because I was a songwriter for so long. So like the journey is just funny to me because like it started off with me just kind of like experimenting and filling it out and seeing how people respond to me like rapping and that becoming like an alter ego. But recently I just dropped an R&B record called Halfway. That I was inspired by a close friend of mine to put out. So I'm moving forward. I put that out, and then I have something else coming out in the fall as well. But on the flip of that, on my SoundCloud, I've been putting out some freestyles and some hip hop joints. I've been really like, paying homage to like some of the greatest producers. So I did a Ninth Wonder beat, I did a Jay Dilla beat, Until They Find Me and Take It Down. I've been rocking out. Yeah, Black's people just took down one of my remixes on Audio Mac. But I look at it as a blessing. Like, you know what I'm saying? That means somebody heard it and it was fire. Like, that's how I look at it. Because if it was, honestly, if it was trash, it would be like, would you go through that much trouble to reach out to Audio Mac and tell them to take it? You know what I'm saying? Like, you wouldn't care. So I'm blessed to, know that people are listening and people watching, obviously. But yeah, I've been promoting Halfway and those freestyles on SoundCloud, and I'm waiting for the fall. I got a really dope record, and I want to line it up correctly. I have been talking to a friend today, though. I do have a joint that I'm thinking about dropping on my birthday, which is in another week and a half. So I don't know. I might drop something.
So wait, what does that make you? I don't even know. I'm not great.
It's cancer season.
Oh, okay.
They say we sensitive. We are sensitive, but we're loyal. And that's why we're sensitive, because we take things personal and people do things to us because we would never do it to them. And that's the flip side that people don't tell people about why we're sensitive. Nobody tells the other half of the story, right?
Yeah. But how much does you being a Cancer actually play a part in you making music?
I think it obviously plays a part from an emotional perspective. People say we're an emotional sign. We are an emotional sign. And I used to take that offensively, but I don't anymore because I thought of this quote one day. I don't know if I thought of it. Maybe somebody patented it already, but I was like, what is a life that you can't feel? People say, oh, you're emotional, but who wants to go through life numb? Now, we all have moments where we may experience depression or we may be sad, but who wants to live their whole life feeling nothing? When you fall in love, that's a good feeling, even though heartbreak hurts too. But heartbreak hurts so bad because you remember what it felt like to be in love, and the pain of not having that anymore is what makes a heartbreak. So what's a life you can't feel, So me being a Cancer, I think, us being so emotional, I'm able to express things that other people may feel but not be able to say. And I'm willing to be vulnerable and really say what it is, and not front. Like I just, funny, my friend was challenging me to like write some songs where I'm a little more like free flowing and freestyling, and I wrote a song called Dead Ass. You know what I mean? But the song is called Dead Ass because it's really like I met somebody, I knew they was full of crap, but they had a little charisma and it threw me off with their guard, and you caught me, and I'm like, you caught me slipping, dead ass, like, you know what I mean? So sometimes we're afraid to say that, but not every time do you deal with somebody are you able to get the best of them. We always writing these cocky records like, yeah, I got you and got these in a bag and I let them go. I don't have no feelings and I'm cold and da-da-da. But sometimes somebody catches you slipping. You know what I'm saying? That's real. You know what I mean? And we all are subject to it sometimes. So I think being a Cancer definitely, especially when it comes to sad songs, I could write the hell out of a sad song. I haven't done it in a while because, culturally, just where music has went, ain't nobody really trying to hear that type of stuff. But I can make you cry if I want to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And meeting you, and we've spoken and we've been in a room speaking about relationships and things like that. So I know for sure I've heard the stories. So I definitely think that, that does play a part in your music. Even with halfway listening to it, it was one of those things. You said it was inspired by something that your friend was going through, and
No, it was actually me.
it
That
was
was a situation. Yeah, this song was about me. There was another song I think me and you were talking about where I wrote I was telling you a song I wrote called Leaving is the Hardest Part. That song was inspired by a friend, and I had a mixtape that was coming out, but I decided not to put it out because I wasn't really happy with it overall as a project. But I may drop that song in the fall. But it's called Leaving as the Hardest Part. That was the song we're talking about. But this song, Halfway, this song was about the longest relationship I've ever been in, which was like off and on for like 8 years. And I'm only in my 30s. So 8 years is a crunch, a time. You feel me? But I was just with somebody who wanted me to do all of these things. And he had this whole list of like, after you do this and after you do that, and after you do that, I'll cuff it. I'll be serious about it. And I was just like, year after year was going. And I was just like, well, how much I got to do? Like, when do you get to see me halfway through and give me some of the things that I need to feel secure in this relationship? And it was very one-sided with him. Like, I had to prove something to him before he could be the man I needed him to be. And I was like, this is not how love works. And then I started to feel foolish for putting all of that time in, and that's where that song came from. Just like, I was just frustrated. Like, bruh, I'm putting in numbers with you. Like, I'm your common law wife at this point. Like, what are we doing here? We getting older and older. I feel like we in the same place. This is not cool.
And what made you, what do you think contributed to him kind of dragging it out the way that he did, or actually saying, hey, if you do this and this, then maybe we can get there?
Well, I think that he was influenced by who he was around. And he had a cousin who's pretty much a womanizer. And I think that he subconsciously picked up some of his habits. On the flip side of that, a lot of the time, just being transparent, I would attract fixer-uppers. I would attract men that I had to help build their confidence or help encourage them to do certain things. And I had a pattern of this codependency thing. And he was the first alpha male that I ever dated where like he had money and he was working and he had his home place. And I think maybe in my shift of perspective of trying to attract a different type of man, I attracted the total extreme. So I got somebody who was like pretentious and arrogant and cocky, and because he was a musician, like a child prodigy. So he never read a sheet of music in his life. He was nasty. You could play something for him for 45 seconds. He'll play it back to you and better than the original track. Like, it's like super stupid talented. Yeah. So I think just from him being talented, you know what I'm saying? A lot of girls wanted him. I played it kind of humble with my approach with him. I kind of checked him out. I studied him for a while. I wasn't on it on some thirsty, type of energy. And I think that that's what made him attracted to me, because I moved a lot differently than a lot of those girls. And he grew up in a church, and I grew up in a church too, but I still have friends in the hood and friends in the street. So my mentality is a little bit more diverse than those type of girls that be in our scene, So I think he peeped that too, because he was a hood dude on the flip side. Like, he played organ and all that, but he comes to church in Jordans. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's different. So I think he liked the fact that I marched to the beat of my own drums as well, and that that attracted us to each other. But he was super arrogant, and it was like I was happy to have a different kind of man, but it was like, at what cost? Like, you're a prick. You know what I mean? Like, I don't want this either. Like, I don't want a guy that I have to build all the way up, but I don't want a dude that feel like I work for him. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not your employee. This is a relationship. It was crazy.
Yes. So what we're going to do is I'm gonna play that halfway, and then I'm gonna see if I can actually play the video, which would be a lot better. Let's see. Let me get to it.
Thank you for watching. I had a little slip up with that too. I had to put it out. I didn't like how it uploaded, so then I had to take it off and re-release it. and I was all stressed out, having an anxiety attack. But you know, just being an artist, we always have like this tunnel vision with things, but everything happens in time and that it's supposed to.
Yeah, definitely. And you know, I've seen your performances, several of your performances. So we're gonna get into this right now.
Let's go.
All right. Hold up. Let me see, because it's playing, but I don't hear anything. There we go.
We keep having the same arguments. I mean, I don't really get it.
It sounded real crispy.
We don't even make love. Takes so much to make love. Make it worth the fight. Yelling, we dropped out of heaven, taking me through hell, and here we are again. I submit, you call it quits, so I decide that I'm over it. Can't have this, we suffer it, and since it's really love, why would you give it up? Why can't you leave me halfway? Leave me halfway. Why can't you leave me halfway? Leave me halfway. Can't sleep, hold my pillow tightly, hold my chest, I can't breathe. Did you notice it? Empty, yes, that's how you left me. Gave you all of me. Can I at least
Yeah.
Okay, so you can sing. Like,
Yeah.
that's what you're going with, right? You can sing for real, right?
Yeah, that ain't just the engineer. That's me too.
Right, for real. Yo, the thing is, it's like, for those that didn't see the video, you got to go to YouTube and
Please do.
how can they find the video?
Please subscribe to my channel. That would be dope. Pheonixx Rocks, Phoenixx Rocks. And the way you remember my name is Phoenixx. Don't forget the second X. It's out of respect. Pheonixx Rocks. Go to my page. It's called Halfway, or you can just put Pheonixx Halfway, and it should definitely pop up.
Yeah, because I wanted, you know, I watched it. I watched it several times actually, and and you know, the visuals, and then the vibe, and then, you know, I don't want to say that I'm comparing you to anybody, but there was this point where you vibing out, and I think you were sitting on the arm of the couch,
Mm-hmm.
and you vibing out. But it took me back to like a Mary J. Blige type situation.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm like, oh snap, okay. And then you got there's another point where there's a close up, and then you got the
Mm-hmm.
light overhead, and then you're just vocalizing in front of the camera, and it's like those visuals. If people that are in touch with their emotions and not afraid to like really feel when they listen to music, and then see the visuals, like you can just by watching it and just by listening to it, you can really feel what you're saying. Like,
I appreciate that.
and then you took his phone, like, yo, what, like, hello, I'm right here. It was good, like, hello, and
Right.
it was one of those things where there's millions of people that could relate to that. You're sitting there and you're craving their attention, and they're sitting there in their phone or doing whatever, or their mind is someplace else, and it's like, yo, what about us? Well, what about what we got going on right now? Like, yo, just
Right.
pay attention. And being in a relationship, it does take the focus of both people, and wanting to pay the next person attention and be there for them. It's like, if I'm willing to do this for you, why can't you do it for me? And I think,
Right. And I don't want to beg you for that either. I want you to want to.
right now, how does that work? Right? Yeah, you don't want to beg, but will you ask?
Right. And that's the balance of life. But talking about the video, I wanted to explain it a little bit. So it starts off with a guy in reverse.
Yes.
And then we move on to me. So basically what I wanted to do is I want to break a lot of my music. I want to break gender stereotypes. And I want women to see, I want men to see that we are willing to do what it takes if you're willing to do what it takes. And so the beginning shows a man going through that experience because it's not fair to him to have to deal with that situation. And then it shows me dealing with that situation because it's not fair to me either.
Right.
And so, we're in the same apartment, but it shows like you don't know what's going on behind closed doors with other people. You'll be surprised at how many people go through those same things. And a lot of times we're ashamed to talk about our situations or what we're experiencing because we think somebody's going to judge us. When if we opened up and we were talking about it, you'd be surprised at how many people feel the exact same way and don't have a way out, or they haven't built their self-esteem or their self-confidence enough to walk away and believe and understand that they're worth more than that and that they deserve more than that. And it took me a long time, like 8 years is a long time, but I really believed in what we had so much that I felt like, well, if I do enough, maybe this person will see, maybe it's a self-esteem thing. And maybe I need to just show them that they're worth it to me, until I realized this person was just manipulating me to get what he wanted. And he was never planning, he wasn't really ever going to plan on settling down, or maybe he just wasn't ready at that time. And he thought he would be. Maybe a part of him did, you know what I mean? And I don't totally understand his psyche, but it could have been like, maybe he felt, well, if I was that person, he could be that person, that something would change in him. So, but at the same token, I don't have to wait. If I'm willing to wait, that's on me, but I also can't be bitter if that's not what my outcome is for waiting. You know what I mean? So it's knowing when a person is hurting you, but also taking accountability for yourself. Because I chose to stay that long too, and that's a part of the narrative that a lot of times is uncomfortable to talk about. He took advantage, but I stayed, and I allowed him to. So,
right. and I would say, and I definitely enjoy talking to you because when you speak, right, you speak from both sides of the spectrum. It's not one side. So it's, yeah, they did that, but they only did that because I kind of allowed it. So it's like, I can't be that bad. It's not all their fault. And
right.
And a lot of people don't even realize that or want to take accountability, even while they're still in the relationship, for the part that they played. And a lot of relationships end on a bitter note and continue to be bitter because people are not able to say, you know what, I had a part to play in what's going on then and what's going on now. And once you're able to do that, it's, I don't think I've ever really truly been upset at someone that I was in a relationship with when it didn't work out. I'm like, it didn't work out. Well, maybe it wasn't supposed to happen that way. And you know what? I probably did some fucked up shit here and there. So you know what? If it went left, I get it. You know, but at the same time, you shouldn't be mad at me either. If I'm not upset at you from what happened, I would expect you to at least give me the same courtesy and responses and the way we do things. And like you said earlier, you being a Cancer and being emotional and stuff like that, you expect someone to not do something to you that you wouldn't do to them. And I'm a Pisces. I'm an emotional mess. I can fucking tell you that off Jump Street. And I have the same issue. It's like, I wouldn't do it to you, so why are you doing it to me? I don't get it. I wouldn't do that. So what's the problem? And that video really depicts all of that. And it's showing it with just something as simple as a cell phone and passing it back and forth on the couch.
And that could blow up and be a thing, and y'all could end up breaking up over that.
Off of that.
And then they trigger an argument, and then all of these other things start coming out that nobody was expressing the entire time y'all was in a relationship. Oh, remember that time I text you and it took you like 2 hours to text back? Like, I felt like you was with your ex, and you be like, what? I came home, we chill, we watched the movie. You didn't even say nothing that night. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's really, and it'd be something so small as like that particular day, you just being on your cell phone too long ticked me off. And I said something to you and you wasn't in the mood that day. And that triggered a whole blow up, and now you're packing your bags. You know what I'm saying? Like, it really be something. A lot of times, even when you look back at all of your breakups, you probably stayed for the most dramatic crap. And then something so small broke it up. Like, you know what? I'm out of here. And the person's looking at you like, what? But I did something small, but they don't know it's a whole pile up of things in your head that you've been sitting there tallying up, that you've been trying to get over, thinking that you forgot about it or you put it behind you because you didn't think about it. But it was right there on the tip of your tongue as soon as y'all got in an argument. It'd be crazy like that.
So how do you think, what is your advice when it comes to, being in a relationship and being able to combat something like that from happening?
I think I keep saying these two things. And one of these things I got from, I can't remember his name right now, and I hate that because I like to give people credit. But there's a guy that's on Instagram, and he talks about something called your core values. I think it has to do with your core values and your love language. And love language meaning, like me, I like to cook. I like to clean. I have a very old-fashioned kind of love. I grew up, around my grandmother, certain things. I seen her carry herself a certain way with my grandfather, things like that. But if you're a guy whose mother took you on outings and cooked fast food and wasn't as neat, maybe she wasn't like super dirty, but she wasn't as clean, you may not value those things. So I could be thinking that I'm showing you love, and love to you could be affection, and I not be affectionate with you enough for your liking, and you feel neglected. And the whole time I'm like, but I'm cooking and I'm cleaning, and your clothes is done and your clothes is clean, and and you're like, yeah, that's cool, but you didn't even give me a hug when I came in from work today. You didn't kiss me on my cheek when I left for work in the morning, and you feel neglected the whole time. And I'm not, and I not be cognizant of that because I didn't ask you what your love language is. And then core values to me is like, you grew up Muslim and I grew up Christian, and to you it's very important that your kids know the Muslim faith. Now, if I choose to be with you, I have to be willing to compromise on that if I want to have children with you. That's a core value. If I don't agree with that, our relationship is going to end up being doomed, because once I have kids and I take them to church, you're going to feel away. So, you know what I mean? Between love languages and core values, if those two things is not in alignment, or y'all can't come to a compromise, which here we come back to halfway, then it's going to be turmoil, and everything else could be right, and that one thing be wrong, and that be the demise of your relationship.
Wow. Now, speaking, I could say I definitely enjoy speaking to you, and I know singing is not the only thing you do.
Yeah, I spit a couple of hot bars every now and then. Every now and then. I be on. It's really on some it's really poetry in motion. Honestly, like it's flowy enough that it ain't a poem, but it's vibey enough that it is. You know, it's somewhere in between.
Listeners?
Yeah.
I think you do. What you got for us?
If you want to go to my SoundCloud real quick, I got something up there I just did to Jay Dilla. That's pretty dope. But I'm gonna tell you to listen to Rise because everybody loves Rise. I did I took a Knife Wonder beat and I did my thing on it. It's on SoundCloud. Pheonixx Rocks. Everything is Pheonixx Rocks, y'all. Pheonixx Rocks. How you been though? How you been? What's going on with you?
Oh, the pandemic and everything that's going on. It as you see, not at the studio.
Right. It's a nice little setup though. That's sexy back there. Your on air sign. I see you. You doing pretty well though for the lock in for the show. If I had to be shut down, I wouldn't be mad at that setup.
The crazy part is that had to adjust real quick, and that's something that I learned. And being who I am, you got to learn to adjust and roll with the punches.
That's a fact.
And the studio, everybody, the 6 feet apart, the mask and people wearing masks, but then you wouldn't even hear anybody because everybody's muffled behind the mask, and then everybody being sick. So, like with all that, I had to make an executive decision and close the studio for the rest of 2020. So there won't be nobody coming together in a room until they figure this shit out, because I don't want nobody getting sick, and I don't want to.
And you don't need to get sick. That's a fact.
So,
did you find me?
I'm looking right now. So
it should be a picture of me, like ding.
Hold up.
Pheonixx Rocks, Phoenixx, because sometimes people put the E before the O. Well, yeah, it's a pretty dope adjustment, and we're gonna make it through this. We gotta strategize and move smart, and not be fast and rushing to be on a scene and be mixy. That's all.
Yo, and that's the crazy part. Because
it's hard, especially for me. Like I had just started freelancing, curating my own events. Like I was on the road. You feel me? I was like, Dad, Corona jammed me.
Yo, and it's crazy because it really did change a lot. Like, with being in Williams, Greenpoint, Brooklyn, actually, we were always focused on getting local artists.
Right.
With the Corona, I've interviewed DJs in Berlin.
That's lit though.
Sweden.
Shout out to Sweden. I got a couple fans out there.
Yeah. So what we got? I'm on.
Go to Rise. You're gonna like Rise.
All right, because there's this whole Brooklyn with this picture.
I did the Soul Brooklyn challenge. I did. I ain't really promoted. That's why the numbers ain't high. Because I did it for me. Like I be on. I'm really on some artists, like old school artist tip, like where I do things if it make me feel good, and then I have other things I do for the numbers, and they get their numbers if I'm on it like that. But the Soul Brooklyn, I'm just from Brooklyn. Like I didn't even wait for I didn't even post the challenge. I just did it. Like if you want to hear these bars, you'll press play, kind of vibe. Okay. But hit up Rise first. You can hear the Soul Brooklyn, but hit up Rise first. I got a lot of love for Rise.
All right, I'm gonna play.
I was trying to get it to Knife Wonder, but I haven't gotten it to him yet. I've been trying to hit him up. I be all in his lives and everything. Like, yo, because I like to give people blessings. Like, I'm not a thief. You feel me? I borrowed it, but I'm not a thief.
Yeah. All right, so I'm gonna play this Rise. Here we go.
Pheonixx. Take a walk with me. Yeah. They waiting to see if I'ma really win. They blind cause it's evident. Divine and the feminine. Sublime with the elegance. Every day that I wake up, I'm up and getting it. No time to be kicking it. No time, less is business.
Cause I'm busy doing other things. Speak up, man, you're mumbling. If you ain't serious about the bag, why you trouble me? Way too focused on my goals from the floor to the ceiling. Why would you even waste my time? Can you tell me the meaning? Try to meditate, it's hard maintaining the balance. Patience tested on the rag, I'm avoiding the island. Not Jamaica, I'm speaking of, I mean the correction. Facilities, see, they try to prevent my progression. But protected by God, He maps out my direction. We always speaking, this our thing, we do the daily checking. They try to dumb me down, don't know how, too small for that. Plus, I can't fake it, way too real, don't have the heart for that. Me, what I say, and that one thing sets me apart from that. Other riffraff, so bad, they run it back. They got you gassed, but over here ain't none of that. I give props when it's due, but I don't owe. Don't let no one get in your head, no one can hold you back. Liberated, living free, the past is in the past. Elevated, now I'm seeing clearer to my path. Already read the book, so now I'll let you do the math.
I'll let you do the math.
So now I'll let you do the math.
You can ask her.
This year's for the level up, no turning back. I'm bringing the kerosene, who got the match? Like the stage on fire, that's what Pheonixx does. Then I rise to the head to receive the love. I'm dope with the shape, but no, I don't need a plug. I'm locked into the socket, it's from up above. Wordsmith and her curve stick, brick house. Word shit, I'm above this, peace out. You about to get me started, bring the beast out. They thought I'd be the one that they could keep out. Never that, yo, it's my time. Big Ben, try to deny me, but you can't deny this. Yo, you can't deny this. Come on now. And I say that in the most humble way. Now the Pheonixx will rise up. We'll rise up. We'll rise up. Now the Pheonixx will rise up. We'll rise up. We'll
So that's right.
Okay. So I like the way you switched it up at the end.
Yeah, that's my thing. I got a little signature thing I've been doing as far as my hip hop stuff. I do 2 verses. I let the verses breathe, and then I end it off with a hook. Like, I can sing, not forget.
Yeah, and, you know, I think that you know, as you said, you have a signature, right? People know what to look for, right? You are you. You do what you do. People know if they listen to you, they gonna hear what they hear, and if they rock with you, they're gonna rock with you regardless, and they're gonna be looking for it, and they'll be like, and you know what? If you ever switch up, they're gonna be the first ones to call you on it too.
Right.
They go like,
I was just saying that because I'm not gonna lie. I got like a drill trappish kind of song. Well, not drill, but like a trappish kind of song that I did that I secretly dropped. And I'm like, yo, I was talking to the person that co-wrote it with me. And he was like, yo, when you gonna push the record? And I'm like, I do want to push it, but I don't want to get no flack from people that like my sound. Like, oh, you want some da 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 da, like that you trying to, because that's not what it is. It's just another side of my personality. And that's the thing that I'm trying not to do right now that's kind of difficult, is that I don't feel like people pigeonhole me, but I do think they appreciate a certain sound from me, if you know what I mean without saying it.
Yeah.
That vibey, soulful kind of energy. And I love that. But that is not all that there is to me. And I do have, you know, me being a songwriter, like my history as a songwriter, I wrote all genres. I wrote whoever was looking. You feel me? If Chris Brown was looking, it was Chris Brown. Sierra was looking, it was Sierra. If it was like whoever was looking, it wasn't this thing where I was just targeting hip hop artists or vibey artists or soul artists or R&B artists. That is, you know, that's just kind of what certain people like by me. But I know when I'm given the space and the opportunity to release some different kind of stuff, there's going to be an audience for that too. Because there are people who really like the rapper version of me. And then there are people who love the singer. And people who love the singer, they're starting to acclimate to the rapper. And people who like the rapper, you know, when I put the hook in there, they appreciate the hook for being there. So, you know, it's just kind of marrying and melting those into a melting pot together. But I'm not going to force the vibe either. You know, if you like the soulful stuff and that's what you go for me, And when I put that stuff out, support. You know what I'm saying? And if I put something out that's not for you, I'm okay with that too, because that's for somebody else. And so that's really where I'm at, because I know I'm a chameleon and I'm a shapeshifter. So it's gonna be something for everybody.
Yeah, I could definitely say both sides of it definitely vibe with. And
appreciate that.
And it's like, I think when you're truly an artist, you're able to do that. It doesn't matter what you do. Like you said, the trap drill joint that you secretly release, and you're not.
Yeah, it's called No Talking. And it really, all it is like I'm cursing a little bit in the record, and I know it's going to be those people like, she's cursing. You know what I'm saying? It's like I'm in my mid-30s, like I'm grown. You feel me? Like I'm not a kid. You know what I'm saying? But I also understand that they look to me for a certain energy, and it's like, yeah, I get that. But I want to, Pheonixx turns up too. Believe it or not, the same girl that can, have the really dope intellectual conversations. I know how to turn up. When we're in the middle of a party, we're not having a deep conversation. We're turning up. You know what I'm saying? We hitting them with the folks. So, there's gonna be that side to me as well. People will see that eventually. She'll come out to play.
Yeah. So what we're going to do, because I need to get into this Soul Brooklyn.
All right, yeah. I got some bars on that. You gonna appreciate that. Are you from Brooklyn?
No.
Okay.
I'm from Spanish Harlem.
Okay, but I feel like you've been around, because like I'm old school, so some of my references is gonna be, I'm an 80s baby. It's gonna be 80s baby references. So that's the only reason I was asking that. But you knew what it was. Like
yeah, I know what it is and everything. So
got you.
Crazy part is that when I was growing up, it's weird. I wasn't a Brooklyn type person, like back then, and you could probably remember when you was from Harlem, you stood in Harlem. You was from the Bronx, you stood in the Bronx. Brooklyn was like, nah, we ain't going to Brooklyn. They different in Brooklyn. Like
it's true, because I used to chill in Spanish Harlem. Oh my God. Hello, I'm sorry.
Yeah, we're here.
No, it's funny because when I was in high school, I chilled in Spanish Harlem a lot, and a lot of the dudes in Harlem, when they used to try to talk to me and stuff like that, they used to be like, "Yo, shorty, where you from?" And I used to be like, "Brooklyn." They used to be like, "Nah, you not from Brooklyn." And they used to be dissing, Brooklyn girls on some like. Because my swag, I used to know how to dress. So they used to be like, nah, shorty, you not from Brooklyn. Like, your swag is wild different. Like, you be wearing certain sneakers and certain, like, your swag. And I should be like, yes, I am. Like, not all Brooklyn girls is bums. Like, please stop saying that. Like, I should get so tight. Like, please stop saying that. We are all not bums. Like, I live in Brooklyn. I just chill in Harlem. I had a best friend that lived in the projects on 108th and Park. So I used to be out there.
Carver.
Yeah.
Yeah. Trust and believe. Anywhere on the east side, Spanish Harlem, Jefferson, Johnson, Wagner, Taft, all that. I'm all up and down all those places. So, like, it's crazy that you say it, but we're gonna get into this Brooklyn. So
yeah, get into it. I did one verse. I dropped one verse.
I know what the beat is, right? So it's like I want to hear you on that beat. Like,
right.
I just wait.
Savage mode.
Yeah, so let's get into that. So Brooklyn, Pheonixx, here we go.
Bang bang.
Anything for the Brooklyn, I gotta be there. You already know. Brooklyn to this tough. Pheonixx. Go. So Brooklyn, I done been in every project. Never scared, I was there, yo, I was wildin'. In the staircase, bro, curfew freestyling. 40th Street, I want halal, fish in the pocket. Independent from young, I got my own sense. Catching licks as a chick, that's not a hood myth. So Brooklyn always hung with the OGs. Wasn't blunt, but they knew me. Suwu to all the homies. So Brooklyn, Coney Island on Easter. As February came, you was plotting on a sneaker. Couldn't cop a Jordan, Uptown was your best bet. don't get lost. Where I'm from, you might get checked. Brooklyn, keep taking it. We give y'all the best bets. It's gentrified now, man. They used to care less. We got the Barclays now. Someone spent a fact check, and everything's changing. I'm so scared to see what's next. Think I'm from the borough that's most misunderstood. They give us fake props. They wanna call us hood. We to this, to that, but this source make head snapping. These guns they do clap. Just lights out. It's a wrap.
Yeah, I did one verse. I just had to give mine off on that.
Nah, but what you said, yo, everything you said was valid though.
Right.
Yeah, it was valid. It's definitely valid. Definitely valid.
Oh yeah, that's kind of dope too. That's the Jay Dilla track.
We're gonna play that in a little bit because we got a few minutes.
Okay.
So we're gonna play that before we head out. But
right.
But yeah, everything you said was valid. Like everything. Like, sir, you never get lost in Brooklyn, bro. Because they gonna be like, yo, where you from? That's it. Yo, you in trouble. Like,
you live over here?
Yo.
Shit, some real reckless. Like, yo, you from here? You from around here?
Yo.
You already know you about to get robbed. Like, what you mean? Why you asking me that?
Yeah, like you know, in my recent years, me being an adult now, I moved a little different. I moved different now than I did when I was younger. So me being out in Brooklyn, I moved out to Flatbush, East Flat, for a little bit over by the college. And you know, I really stuck out like a sore thumb. Like real talk. Like I really, really did. I did. Hey, when people looking at me and all that, and I'm looking at them like, yo, you know what? I'm valid wherever I go. So if y'all want whatever happens here, we can do this.
Right.
But just know, I know I'm in Brooklyn too. Like I'm not stupid. Like
right. Like listen, yeah. Like I know where I'm at.
Yeah. There's 12 buildings with all your homies in it. Like, and it's only one me.
Right.
Like, I'm gonna take one of y'all down. I might not make it till tomorrow, but I'm gonna get one. And just Fulton Street, the gentrification, the Barclays Center. Like
that's when it happened.
Growing up in Brooklyn, I don't even know. Like me growing up in Harlem, 125 changed so quick that it was like, what the fuck just happened?
Right.
Like this video online of a white woman pushing a stroller. Oh no, I don't know if she's pushing a stroller, but she walked Harlem for 10 hours with basically a camera crew walking through Harlem and then get robbed. You know that if you pulled out your phone in Harlem back in the late 80s, early 90s,
snatchies.
That's it. So that's how you.
What phone?
Like, huh? What are you talking about? It's gone. So it's one of those things. The over there, downtown Brooklyn, Flatbush Extension, Fulton, all that stuff. I don't even.
Right.
I don't.
So totally different place.
Yeah, and it's wild, crazy, and I don't even know. I'm not from there, but I don't know how you feel about that. Like,
I have mixed feelings because there's two sides to it. There are people who make you feel like you moved there and they've been there. And then I've had some positive experiences where people embrace the fact that they're new and they want you to feel respected. You know what I mean? So it's and it's interesting to say that, especially amongst the time where Black Lives Matter movement is happening. I have met a few allies. A few allies. Now, can I vouch for them at the end of the day and say they down for the cause? No, I can't. But in my transactions leading up to the things that have taken place, these people have, respected and valued me in my community. And I didn't feel like they were trying to push me out and flush me out of where I live. But initially, when it first happened, it was very uncomfortable. It was like, you open a coffee shop in my neighborhood, and then when I walk in, you're looking at me like, why do I want a cup of coffee? You know what I mean? Like, what do you mean, bro? Like, I've walked this block my whole life. I know when you moved here. You know what I'm saying? Like don't do that. But then, like I said on the flip, it's a lot of people in my community. Like, it was interesting too. Right before Corona, I was walking down the street one day, and literally Black and white people were saying hello to me, and I was like, wow, it was really surreal for a moment that, like, white, you know, and then there was a couple of Hispanic people too, but like just being acknowledged by all different people and all different cultures was very like surreal walking through Crown Heights, Brooklyn. To see that and experience that. But yeah, you know, you have people that, you know, you have the Karens and then you have, you know, the Jessicas, you know what I mean? That's chill. And, you know, they don't want to get in nobody's way. They're just trying to get home and go to work or do whatever they got to do. And they'll say hello. And maybe they're not your best friends, but they also not calling the cops on you when you play your music at night. So, you know.
Like you got to understand where you are and remember that you came into the situation. We didn't the situation. I wasn't the one who charged you $6,000 a month for rent for a 1-bedroom apartment. Don't say trying to tell me I got to turn my music down. That motherfucker should have soundproofed the apartment. like that's what it is. And I think the craziest thing, and I noticed it, I'm someone that pays attention to my surroundings very heavy. And the white community are very, very nervous right now. So nervous, they don't even know what to do. Like, there were times that if I was walking towards a white person or they was riding their bike, they would expect me to stop. Like, it was crazy. Like, I'm walking, you doing whatever, and you gonna either run me down or do whatever you do. Now, they looking at me like, okay, sir, you could go first. And I'm like, what the fuck is going on? It feels different.
Yeah, they shook.
It happened to me yesterday. And I'm looking at the guy on the bike and I'm like, dag, I was like Midtown Manhattan. And then, you know, a couple of years ago, or even just a couple of months ago, the situation would have went way different than what it went. And he would have been like, ignored me like I didn't even exist. Like, I'm a big guy. You can't fucking miss me. When people act like they don't see me, it's a problem. So it's just to even see, but the look on his face was like, please don't even look at me. I'm sorry.
I don't want no problem. They like, I don't want no smoke.
No smoke. But the thing is, like, I need our people to really understand that we could have put an end to a lot of this stuff that's going on right now if we would have stuck together years ago. But there's so much division because we pay attention to the propaganda and everything that they put out that we don't even understand what to do. And then they play us against each other because it's very, very easy. You know, it's one thing to be like black and brown people. But to me, yo, when we fill out those documents, it's black or white. And then they ask what your ethnicity is. So basically, they're asking you what type of culture do you kind of gravitate to?
Right.
But you're only on this side of the spectrum or that side of the spectrum. There is no in between because when they classify minorities, they classify the Chinese, they classify everything that's not white.
Right.
On that side, where we have never been the minority, we always been the majority in numbers. But then they break us up into subcategories, and then they put us against each other, and that's why we could never rise up. And what people are so afraid of is right now, when you're looking at the protests, this is not something that we've seen 30, 40, 50, 100 years ago.
Right.
People of every color marching together, and that's what they're afraid of.
Big facts. It definitely that scares them. It not only scares them, it intimidates them. And when people are intimidated, they start acting real like weird. Like, ooh, it's scary. Ooh. You're not gonna hit me, are you? It's like, no, I raised my hand to scratch my back. What is wrong with you? You know what I mean? Like, they become nervous.
Of a woman that called, like, I don't know if you've seen it, but you know, Instagram, there's all this stuff that
when she cut the guy off,
and then she's trying to hide her license plate, and she's screaming, and she's like, "You're harassing me," and all that, and she's just like, it's like she had a nervous breakdown.
And the lady came out and she's looking like, Miss, he's not even by you. Like she's looking at her like you're dumb.
Yeah.
Like, Miss, he's not even by you. Like, why are you know what I mean? Like, and I think it really even culture shock for other white people to see white people act like that. Like, is that really how we are?
And it happens so much. And when you sit there and people talk about it, you're like, nah, you're over exaggerating. But it's like right now with the cops wearing body cams with the shit that they doing, and then everybody having something that they could record. Like I have a thing. I have a little bit of an issue when shit really be going down. Like all people do is pull out their phone.
Yeah, I hate that. I saw a fire like that one time, and I saw people take out their cameras while our building was burning, and I was just like, really, what mentally could be going through your mind if you're not the news that you would want to record in your phone people losing their homes or possibly their lives? Like, why would that be something you want to capture?
Right.
Like on a personal level.
Right. Did you call 911 first? Like that's what you did before you pulled.
Are you praying for the families? Are you are you rich and positive on that people survive and they come out of this? Why are you doing that? Like, where's your head at right now?
Yeah, it's
people bugged out.
It's crazy because with the way you say you were 80s baby. I was just like a day, not a day shy. I was a year shy of being an 80s baby. I was born in 79. And like with the birth of social media, the internet and everything else, like we were kind of in the mix of what's going on. But right now, everybody has been desensitized to what they see because they see it so much. Yeah. It comes out so much and it's like, oh, we just saw a black man die. We done saw a building burn down. We just saw somebody get shot. We did this, that, and the third, and we could see it all over the world. But when we was growing up, it wasn't that. Everything was hidden. I don't think any side of the black and white perspective really can understand the effect of the internet. Well, we try to progress so much, but now we put everything on Front Street. And like Will Smith said, racism hasn't gotten worse. It's basically that it's televised now. Like we're able to put it, people can see it. This has been going on for ages. I don't know if you are aware of what happened to the South African pregnant woman in Florida.
No, what happened?
She was stabbed 6 times in the chest and hung from a tree. And she was pregnant.
My God.
Right. And in California, we had 2 black men that were lynched, hung from trees in different locations in California. But you don't even hear that on the news. It's like we talk about it a little bit. Sprinkle, sprinkle, sprinkle.
Yeah, like pepper.
Yeah, it's like, oh yeah, oh we gonna talk
a dash.
Right. And it's the craziest thing. And I definitely want to do this with you again.
Yeah, let's link.
Oh, yo, like you my homie. We're gonna do this. We definitely gonna chop it up. We could probably talk for 2 hours, just me and you.
Just keep going. Yeah. Various subjects.
Yeah. So what I'm gonna do is I want you to tell everybody how they can follow you.
Yes.
How they can watch your video, the release video, where they can find your music. And anything else you want to tell them, anything else you got going on, website and all that. Just basically,
I'm actually going to work on a website. I'm moving pretty soon, so I'm in transition, but the website will be coming soon. I want you guys to go to my YouTube channel, Pheonixx Rocks. I would love for you guys to stop by. I have a lot of things going on my channel. I have over 20-something videos. I have a docu-series called Bamboo. Halfway is out now. You can find it. It's out on streaming services as well, iTunes, Spotify, etc. Deezer, a bunch of different things. I think it's also on like Shazam as well. I did the whole kit and caboodles. You can follow me on Instagram at YesTasPheonixx, YesThaTS Pheonixx. I'm there too. I'm on Twitter at Pheonixx Rocks. I'm on Facebook, Pheonixx Rocks as well for all of those who are on Facebook. You can come stop by my page as well. I put a lot of little exclusive stuff up there for the people who are subscribed to my music page. Come hit me up, check me out. I'm on a web series called It at the Table. I'm on another one for the Love of Boot. Got a bunch of stuff, enough stuff to do for you to stay in quarantine so you don't go out there and get that second wheel, y'all. Stay indoors and stay safe.
Yeah. Yo, make sure you send me the links.
Got you.
Music you got going on to all the stuff you just spoke about.
Mm-hmm.
Because I want to make sure that we have you featured on the website.
Appreciate that. Thank you.
Yeah, definitely. And we definitely going to stay in touch.
Of course.
I'm gonna send you. Well, you got the email address to reach us, but I'm gonna send my direct so this way you can text me or whatever whenever you got something going on, so we can support.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much. I appreciate you for having me, y'all.
All right.
Thank you.
So much love, and I'm gonna send you the link to the show later.
Please, thank you. All right, talk to you soon. Be good. Be well. Later.